We're two bridesmaids and close friends of Stephanie Ray. We've known Stephanie. Sorry. Bear with us here. This is our first time practicing. So, we've known Stephanie since middle school and grown up with her a lot through the different phases of life. From outdoor ed, DECA state champ.
Woo!
Faking presentations to get out of gym class. Hiding behind bushes to get out of gym class. Not following team rules to get out of gym class. And ultimately, having to stay after school to make up time because we lied so much about getting out of gym class.
We've also known Steph through a job at Papa Murphy's making pizzas. She loved that job. A really long-term job at Jimmy's Char House, where she got unlimited potato skins. 10 different majors in college, possibly. Quite a few. Before she met John, a few disaster dates, one of which she bailed on the guy at the movies because he had tucked in his shirt. She has pretty high standards. And then we moved in together in Chicago, and you still made pizzas every day.
We've also known John for a very long time as well. Through the many days he forgot to take his Ritalin as a child and would jump on beds to see if he could touch his head to the ceiling, to orange mocha frappuccinos, to breaking the same finger, I think 2 or 3 years in a row, doing ski trips when he didn't even know how to ski to begin with. And of course, I don't think any of us can forget his first album, Johnny B and the Crew, White Boys Rappin', with multiple top chart hits.
We're very impressed with you, John. We've known you both separately and together, and as you guys all heard, Lee and I were present the night that you hit it off. So it is especially cool to be here tonight at your wedding. And it's awesome that we all made it to Mexico, considering we just got our invitations last week, right? Woo!
And if we're being completely honest and maybe a little bit selfish, we've always wanted a reason for our friends and our brothers' friends to mingle, considering our brothers never let us hang out with them in high school.
Yes, thank you, Mason and Jesse. But that's enough about us. Let's get it started with some words from family and friends. We're going to start with Suzanne, Stephanie's wonderful sister and maid of honor. Suze, if you could come on up, because we want you to face
front and center, baby. Get over here. Come on, you got to do it right here. Come on, get over here. Spotlight. Come on, you got it. Thank you. Right in the mic. I'm just actually going to come over here.
If you could, yeah, just face them.
I like the perimeter of people. I think, great. So great advice, Buck. Maybe next time. I like it. Good evening, everyone. I just realized now that I have been put up here in the front that you are not all 5 years old, so this is a little intimidating for me. I am typically used to no one higher than this, so if I go to my default teacher voice, I apologize. Just ask Jason when I get nervous or don't know what to do. Teacher voice comes out, and he loves it. He just loves it. So, of course, I want to begin by saying thank you to my parents for making this happen, this beautiful celebration. Thank you very much to you guys. I want to say thank you to Nicole and Bob Brinck for also, where's Bob Brinck? Oh, for also helping this make such a special celebration for Stephanie and John, as well as Michael. Where's Michael? Michael. I wanted to give him a shout out for helping the boys look so dapper and their ties and their kerchiefs. So I thank you for making them look so handsome. All right. Most of you know that I'm Stephanie's little sister. She's my absolute best friend, and she's always been there for me. She's the one person that I can cry, laugh with, and wrestle with. Yes, wrestle. Just ask my dad. He cannot stand when this happens because every time it happens, we let out these loud, wild giggles and screams. And he used to come running up the stairs, and he would see what was going on, and he'd go, "God damn it, he'd go, I thought someone was hurt. And he'd storm back down the stairs. And now he knows much better to just either turn the TV up or go into the basement and play the drums to drown us out. Growing up with Stephanie was always an adventure, even from the beginning. She was this little sassy, opinionated babe, and it was really unclear of what kind of big sister she would become or how she would react having another little human in the house. But to everyone's surprise, she loved having a little sister. And as most of you know, I was on the plumper side when I was a little baby. To those of you who don't know, to give you an idea of my physique, I didn't roll over till I was 6 months. So there you go. I partly blame this on Stephanie because any chance she could, she would literally lay on top of me. I mean, there are pictures among pictures of her eating snack on top of me, watching TV, playing with toys, and I would literally just be pinned down under her the entire time. So Stephanie, thank you for stunting my growth, I'll call it. So this bond became deeper as we began to grow up. It didn't hurt that I was now mobile and I could interact with her other than being pinned to the ground. We moved around a lot when we were younger. We moved to Ohio when we were about 5 or 7, and in our new house there was this big middle bedroom that had a bonus space that was connected to it. And of course, Stephanie and I each tried the best we could to get that room on our own. And my parents will say to this day that that was their biggest mistake of letting us actually share the room. We did everything but sleep in that room. My parents would put us to sleep, and the next thing my sister and I do, we would jump out of bed, grab all of our lip glosses, nail polishes, dollar bills, and we would pretend to play poker after watching Parent Trap. And neither of us know how to play, and it would just turn into a game of Go Fish. Dad, I should have used what you did at my wedding and just flicked these on the ground. So our relationship did have a little bit of a rough patch in the high school years. Stephanie became the cool girl, and she left me in the dust. When her girlfriends used to come over, I was like a little puppy that was on the edge of the room, like, I want to come play, say hi to me, I'm over here too. Stephanie, I don't even know if you know this, but I always wanted everyone to acknowledge that I was your sister. There was literally one time where I showed some kid, I don't even know who it was, my driver's license to prove to him that we had the same last name. I'm making myself sound really creepy right now, but I swear that, like, I just really like her. So once Stephanie went away to college, that's when it hit me pretty hard that this person that I had been fighting with for the past 4 years was now going to be living 6 hours away. So being the sap that I am, I made her a mixtape full of cheesy I love you, goodbye, and good luck songs with certain songs like I Hope You Dance and Rascal Flatts, My Wish for You. And I put it in the bottom of her suitcase, and she still claims she never received it. So once it became my turn to pick a college, I knew that I either wanted to stay close to home or I wanted to be right next to Stephanie. So I submitted my college application to SIU, which she was overjoyed to hear that news. And I halfway finished my college application to NIU or UIC, and then I thought, no, forget it. I'm just going to go to Southern. So again, Stephanie was super excited to have me down there. While at school, though, however, she did take me under her wing, and that's when she really helped teach me the ropes of college life. She turned into more of a mother for me and made sure I was always safe and that I was always having fun. This is when Stephanie and I truly became best friends. Not just sister best friends, but real best friends. Even though we're completely different from the way we look to our personalities, but I think this is what makes our relationship so special. She brings out the best in me and has helped me grow into a much stronger and confident person that I don't think I would have ever become if I didn't have you by my side for the past 28 years. So this brings me to John. When Stephanie began her relationship with John. I was still at SIU, so I, of course, immediately planned the 6-hour drive home to check out this guy before their relationship could go any further. I was now becoming the protective one. Of course, there was nothing to protect Stephanie from. Since their relationship began, I've never seen Stephanie with this sparkle in her eye and this glow that John drew out of her. Stephanie still has the same sparkle and glow even after 8 years of being together. John won me over when I stayed the night at Stephanie and John's apartment after a night out with my girlfriends in the city, which for those of you who know me doesn't happen often, so when it happens I get real spunky. And so I came back and John put on Justin Bieber for me so I could sing karaoke, and little did he know that I knew 90% of the songs, the words, and the dance moves. So about after 2 hours of this, I climbed in the bed in between the two of them and decided that I shall sleep here, I will snuggle with the two of you. John just giggled out loud to himself, and I knew he's thinking in the back of his head, this is my worst nightmare. Like, is she serious? Is this what's going to happen? So, I mean, we've known John for 8 years, and now him and I have this strange bond together where we end up usually talking about the strangest things, and Steph always ends up saying, you two are so weird, you're the exact same person, you're freaking me out, as she walks out of the room. Stephanie has always looked out for me, and now I know John will always do the same for me. He quickly became very protective over me, like a big brother would. He also comes along with the big brother quirks, like pranks, trying to sabotage me and jokes. With that aside, I know John will always be one of my best friends and the big brother I never had. Steph and John, I cannot wait to see what this beautiful life has in store for the both of you. You're the perfect example of what it means to be truly meant for one another. As you begin this new life together, I want to share these song lyrics of the same mixtape that I made for Stephanie when she went to college. From Rascal Flatts, real classic. My wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. May your dreams stay big, your worries stay small, and you never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things for you too. This is my wish. Stephanie and John, this is the wish I have for you. Everyone, please raise your glass in honor of the bride and groom.
Wow, thank you, Sue.
Rascal Flatts, Steph. Didn't know you were such a big fan.
All right. Up next, we have one of John's oldest and closest friends, son of Fred and Cool Calf.
Where's Cool Calf?
Cool Calf, where is she?
There she is.
All right, raise your hand. Perfect. Also, my neighbor back on Raintree Drive, Naperville in the house, best man and author of Einstein's Monster, Mr. Alex Bach. Come on up.
In the middle, right
Right
here.
on the stage?
Yep.
I promise I'd never go back on stage again, Lee. This is not part of the agreement. Hello, my name is Dr. A.V. Bach, and I'll be your best man for the evening. Dr. Pending, it's more of an honorary title that I gave myself than anything. So let me present the Ballad of John and Steph, a groomsman speech. Now, most groomsmen, when faced with the daunting task of doing the wedding speech, panic and hide and say their name is Gavin. I, on the other hand, was not worried. Not because I'm a writer, but because I've been preparing for this for so long. A long, long time. More than anything, I'm just happy to be able to put it to use and not shelve it with several other projects. As such, the various drafts of this speech have seen 2 presidents, a Mars rover landing, and a Cubs World Series win. I'm talking about the first one. Now, some of us have lost some hair, some of us have gained some hair. You know, I've had to modify it over the years, parting with some jokes that were a little out of date. The original also had a lot of different pieces, movements, a PowerPoint presentation, an interpretive dance sequence from Jesse, which he said he'd be very honored to perform again, should anyone request. Yeah, so please see him for that. It was basically a veritable TED Talk with a lot of gesticulating, working the stage, doing a lot of that. And that's because I knew what we all knew, that this marriage was meant to happen. It was an eventuality, a certainty, like the sun rising in the east or us making erroneous Fat Jesse jokes. The union of John and Steph is nothing short of a whole becoming complete. A yin and yang, PB&J, sausage and ice cream. Yes, Stephanie, it is real. And we're going to eat that tomorrow. Yeah. As a great man and decent robot once said, some sauces taste good with some things. And you guys are the sauce that goes well with everything. And that sauce is certainly not mayo-based, and there is not a pickle in sight, John. There is not. Now, life has a way of throwing its inhabitants in disparate directions, down wildly unexpected paths. We move to different cities, states, countries. We start jobs, families, and careers that move us in exciting new directions while still making it a little bit hard to stay connected to the past. Which is why I think it's so incredible that we're still able to be as close as we are. This group of friends, this group of family, extended family. And the reason for that is you, John. You've always been the one to keep us together. You're the cornerstone, the rock, or a robot in charge. Yeah. So it's an absolute honor to be here, to be your best man and try to return even a tenth of the support you've shown myself and everyone else over the years. And I'm beyond honored for that. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Let's give him a little round of applause. John, you're not just my best friend, you're my brother. And Steph, you're not just John's wife, you're my sister, and you're my best friend too. You're every bit as supportive, kind, generous, thoughtful, and caring as John is, and that's why I know you two are perfect for each other. It's gets a little in there when you have to revise and then go to the handwritten stuff. It gets a little precarious. Yeah. But that's how I knew you guys were perfect for each other. I've never liked the phrase, the brother or sister I've never had, because that implies that blood is the only thing that ties a family together, and it's not. Family is just a word that you use to call those who are closest to you, because no other word will suffice. And that's what you two are to me. You guys are family. You guys are family. Nicole's family, Susanna's family, John, Gavin, Jesse, everyone. You guys are family, because that's what this is. Now, some of you have already talked about the story of John and Steph, finding each other. And I feel compelled to tell it again, because I'm selfish, and a writer, and most importantly, because I was there. All right. So it was a gray and blustery Saturday in October. I don't actually remember if it was blustery, but it sounds better if it was, so let's go with it. No fact-checking here tonight. John had spent the morning with his mistress, tennis. Tennis 1, yeah. Playing with Tomac, and then he called me up and decided to get some beers at the Lantern and play some darts. Lee, that one, called out of the blue and said that her and her friends were next door at Features. Hi.
That's not true.
What? No?
Fact check.
Shh. My speech. She also did not tell us whether or not she had made muffins, and we are still waiting on that, Lee. Yeah. So we went next door, the Features, met up with them, regardless of what Lee says. I skipped the passage because of that, Lee. Thank you. It wasn't important. It wasn't very good. But we spent the remainder of the day and night together, bouncing from Features to the Ewald estate, then to Rizzo's, the most romantic bar in Naperville, watching John and Steph pull each other into the other's orbit, inevitable as gravity. A few days later, John asked if she would want to see The Social Network. He picked her up from her house, but not before meeting Lori and her bunco crew, and not before jamming with Bob in the basement. They went to the movie, stopped at a red light, and had their first kiss. And I should know, I was there, hiding in the back seat, waiting for this moment, cataloging it, like Steve Irwin with a gator. So they started dating, and not long after were forced to test their connection over a long-distance relationship as John moved to Dubuque and Steph to Chicago. Contrary to most couples with this easy early hurdle, they endured. I might go so far as to say they even managed to thrive out of that relationship. A testament unto itself. Having an apartment in the city and a vacation home in Dubuque and some space. Yes. Seeing their relationship thrive in that capacity, it was clear to all of us that these two kids were going to make it. And so, years later, when John told me he was going to propose to Steph, I said what most of you said. Well, it's about damn time. Yeah, what took so long? Having known John a long time, I know that he might not always show up on time, but when he does, he shows up in grand fashion. Usually in a pirate hat. Almost always in a pirate hat, actually. I don't know where he gets them. He just kind of pulls them out. And the arrival of this wedding and the ceremony we just witnessed, led by the incredible Curtis Schreiber as officiator and eminent cult leader. Yes. We just witnessed the closing act of the close the curtain on their first act of their courtship, allowing us this joyful intermission before the curtain slides back once more to let us watch Act 2, the marriage. And in that intermission, we were able to hydrate, because let's be honest, it was a very long first act. And we're thirsty, and it's hot. And it was a little sandy, and that gets us, And now we're able to think about their relationship, about the ballad of John and Steph, and what it boils down to in one overarching theme. And for me, that theme is simple. Happiness, and the happiness they inspire in others. For me, I'm happy you found each other. I'm happy to have witnessed how good a couple can be, where the biggest fight I've ever seen them have was over pizza toppings and the placement of a shelf. And that was vicious. I still don't think it's resolved, and I'm really hesitant to even bring that up tonight. I don't want it to open old wounds. And I'm very happy to hear that he proposed. And I was happy, though not surprised, to hear that Steph said yes. But mostly I'm happy that Steph got to know the other most important woman in John's life, his mom. And more than that, I'm so happy that Eva got to know the woman who would someday be John's wife, and Bob's daughter, and Nicole's sister. And I know we all wish she could be here with us today, watching, toasting, dancing, and reminding John to gargle before he kissed his bride. And though I've never been accused of being a religious man, part of me can't help but feel the waves lapping at the shores nearby as Eva giving a round of applause. And the warmth of the sun shining down on us this weekend has been her infectious smile and her blessing of this wedding. And I'm sure it is, because she knew before the rest of us that this was meant to be. Because John had found the sweet to his salt. You remember that. Because she was able to recognize what a great couple you are and how great that relationship will become over the years as it grows and expands to include pets, children, robot pets, and of course robot children. For me, personally, I hold you guys up as a rubric for what a good couple can be and should be. Ready to go anywhere, do anything, and experience whatever the world has to offer as long as it's with each other. I hope all of us are lucky enough to someday have a relationship like yours. My hope is that 50 years from today, surrounded by our children and grandchildren, robots and grand-robots, that a vagrant ray of sunshine will find us, poking out through the December clouds to remind us of this day. And we'll all feel compelled to tell those around us of the time we witnessed. It's so humid, they're so sticky. Witness this marriage of the storied relationship, of the ballad of John and Steph. And they might balk and say, surely that's made up. And surely no two people could have been that perfect for each other. And surely you're not our grandpa. You're just that weirdo that hangs out at Wendy's and claims that pigeons are stealing his pants. And you'll be able to quell their doubts, especially that last part, because they certainly are. Assuring them, no, it's all true. This couple does indeed exist. And the marriage is beautiful. After all, I should know. I was there. Cheers. I love you both.
Hey, Alex, that was beautiful.
That was amazing.
Really wonderful. It is an honor, though, to introduce our next speaker, as he is the father of the bride, and I think Lee and I would both say has played an interesting fatherly role in our lives. We've always loved being around him, as he always points out the sarcasm in life. And he reminds us that dads are cool. So everyone, please give it up for Bert, a.k.a. Bob Ray, a.k.a. Molasses.
Molasses!
Well, I will, and then I'll go up. Okay. I didn't know I had to follow Alex Buck. That's like following the Rolling Stones. Plus, I don't know any four-syllable words. Gesticulating? What the hell was that word? I don't know what the hell that was. Golly. Anyway, here's the best I can do intellect-wise. You ready? Bienvenido a Mexico, mi amigo. John, my son-in-law, installed a Rosetta Stone app for me. I've been studying it for 3 months, and that's the only phrase I felt comfortable with. All right, so behalf of the Ray and, of course, the Brinck family, my goodness, we're certainly so happy everybody's joined us here at Unico. I know this is a long way to travel. We're in between holidays here, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas. So for the business guys, we got year end, right? For the moms and the homemakers, we got holidays. What's that? Oh, geez, here we go with the sexist stuff. All right. I don't know where the hell I was. Bach, get back up here. And final exam. So it's tough. So we're over the moon that we've had so many join us here today. So thanks so much. So before I get started on honoring my daughter and then telling you what I really think of Johnny Danger over here, I want to honor some very special guests. And if it wasn't for them, this family tree would have never started. Stephanie absolutely adores these people. They're her grandparents, Gene and Laverne Montano, all the way from San Clemente, California. So you guys stand up. Stand up. Come on, you knuckleheads. Yeah. Now, believe me, if Mean Gene gets enough wine in him, you'll see some dance moves you haven't seen before. But he's kind of in the doghouse for his first couple days here, so we'll see. All right, I'd also like to acknowledge, of course, welcome Nicole and Bob Brinck to our family. Last night's welcoming dinner was over the moon. The special touches provided by Nicole was just terrific. Bob, great speech, but I know Nicole did most of that stuff. So let's thank the Brincks for a great welcoming dinner. I never went to a rehearsal dinner where the whole everybody in the wedding went. I mean, very, very generous. All right, now let's get started on Johnny Danger. All right, now I'm trying to be as good as I can be here, all right? Because she knows I'm a little sarcastic and a little honest, all right? John has definitely brought a different vibe to the Ray family. We like to call ourselves the six-pack, all right? So let me just list a few of the observations or what I believe John has brought to our family. Numero uno. Don't worry. Unlike Bach, my thing is double space and it's not 8-point font. I won't be that long. All right. Number one, he has no fear of going against the grain or against the norm. Does anybody agree with that? The six-pack took a trip to New Orleans. That city is known for great live music, great food, and some libations. As soon as we check into the hotel and we're all ready to go out, we exit the hotel. John, well, the first thing he wants to do, he turns around and he says, "Is anybody up for some sushi?" I'm so glad you guys find that funny. I was horrified. Number two, believe me, I only got 3, all right? He has some unique football cheers. In his first Steeler game, all right, in Pittsburgh, in December, the Steelers have the ball, 1st and goal, all right, and among 65,000 diehard, mostly blue-collar, black and gold faithful, Johnny Danger, stands up, screams at the top of his lungs, "Rev it up there, pooper!" I can't make this up. I swear to God. Stretch, you were there, right? Oh, God. Bach is right. These are sticky. Okay, the ultimate mystery. John called ahead to our house right in Aurora and said, "You need to gather in the front driveway. I've got a big announcement to make." And I think finally the lunkhead proposed. No, that wasn't it. He pulls in his beloved Kia SUV, all right? He jumps out and he points to his new vanity plate. And I read it and it says Dynasty. I said, "Brinck, what does that mean?" He goes, "Dynasty. Dynasty. To this day, I have no idea the significance of dynasty. I have no idea what that means." So anyway, what I do know is this, and I am sure of, because I've watched them for 8 years now. They have an incredible chemistry, those two. There is no doubt about it. They complement each other. I'm pretty sure what makes this work is John's boundless sense of adventure, and to me, most importantly, and this is the mushy part, Brinck, is his kind-hearted way and his patient, he's never vindictive nature. God didn't put a mean-spirited bone in that boy's body, because believe me, I've tried everything I could to rile him up. It ain't working. So we are thrilled to have him in our family along with Bob and Nicole. All right, now for Steph. Now, no worries, but I'm going to take you right back to the beginning. Hospital room, late morning on a Sunday, Ann Arbor, Michigan, August 28th, 1988. Stephanie's arrival into this world. You may say, "This is so weird. Why is he going back to the birth?" I've always and still do love Steph's big brown eyes. And I'm fortunate because I was the first one to see them when she popped out. Now, again, I'm not a OB/GYN guy, but I know I was around there. So my version of Stephanie's birth goes like this. She came out, all right, and I think, the head goes first in this thing, right? Yeah, and I think she was belly first, and I swear she looked right at me, she blinked twice, slithered out. Doctor rolls her over, right? I see the umbilical cord, and I go, "Ah, boy, I knew it! I knew I could do it!" This is a true story. I'm running around the delivery room. Doctor says, "You better take a look at this, pal. That's the umbilical cord. You got a little girl." So I had to go sit down. They wanted to give me a sedative. This is all true. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about Steph, all right? All right, now here's some unique remembrances, and thank for my lovely wife, Lori, for helping me with this. Because when she was little, Steph was always curious, and I'm going to tie this into the old Brinck here, all right? The two words she said most to her dear old dad right up until she was 3 years old is, "What's that?" So she always wanted to be picked up, all right? And I would pick her up and walk her from room to room, and here's how it would go night after night. "What's that?" Bass. "What's that?" Couch. "What's that?" Lamp. On and on and on. Unfortunately, it got worse for her when she was younger. I swear I'll speed up right to the end here in a minute. Probably one of her darkest memories is her bike rides with Dad, and darkest is the key word here. When Lori was pregnant with Suze, and when Suze was 1 year old, I would try to come home and alleviate some burden from Lori. So I'd come home, put on Steph's little helmet, strap her into the bike seat, and off we'd go on the prairie path from Batavia up to Geneva. Unfortunately, Steph's only view was my protruding rear end, since the bike seat was on the rear tire, and hence the dark period in Steph's life. But she was happy to go nonetheless. All right, that's my segue into the commonality with Johnny Danger. Because no matter growing up with Steph, if we were home, if we're on vacation, or we're just out of the house, no matter what we're doing, she always wanted to know what we're doing next. In other words, she always wanted to be on the go. It's no coincidence she lives in the city along with John, because she is up for any travel destination. I admire and I am so proud of two things with Steph. She is fiercely independent, but more importantly, she is fiercely loyal to her family and the ones she loves. So if you know her, you cannot mess around with the things that she thinks is precious. All right? The overriding quality with Steph, like always, or you wouldn't be for me and Lori, you have to have a strong sense of humor. And unfortunately, of the four of us, I have lost my mantle as Steph is the best humorous storyteller in our family. For those of you who work with Steph and her PR firm, her stories about this Zapata guy are tremendous. I'm sorry, you'd have to know this guy to believe him. All right, so in conclusion, I would say Steph and I, our strongest bond is our love of music. In fact, the Rays and Six Pack actually, we all share this bond, no doubt about it. Steph and Sue's first concert was James Taylor. For those of you in Chicago, Steph was 5, I think Suzanne was 3. It was at Poplar Creek in Hoffman Estates. James Taylor said if you bring a child to the concert under 12, you can sit for free on the lawn. So that was our first concert. Later on in college, she introduced me to some things like the uniqueness of the Grateful Dead. That's another story over cocktails. And of course, the Ray, one of our family favorites, is the band. So we have a lot in common on music. So with that, I'm going to close with some lyrics from one of Steph and mine's favorite singer-songwriters, Bob Dylan. I've always thought that this is one of the strongest, nicest things you can say. So here goes. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and may you climb on every rung. May your heart always be joyful and may your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. Now please join me in toasting the official completion of the six-pack. Stephanie and John, I love you guys to death. All the best.
Have a quick break for dinner, and then we'll come back and hear from a few more people. Okay? Any questions?
All right. Raise your hand. Any Waubonsee Valley grads? Woo! Put your forks and knives down. And those of you who know it, we encourage you to join in as we go with WAUB, ONSIE, Warriors, Warriors, Waubonsee.
One more time.
WAUB, ONSIE, Warriors, Warriors, Waubonsee.
All right, cut. Good job. Very clean.
All right, who's ready to hear some more speeches? I can't hear you. Who's ready for some more? This side sucks. This side is doing great.
Wait, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Before you go into
Go for it.
Tu Hermano. We just wanted to give a quick shout out to the mother of the bride because we felt she should be acknowledged.
The beautiful Lori Ray.
Lori Ray, turn around.
Look at that hottie over there, huh? Blue and gold. Come on, stand up for us.
Stand
Give us
up.
a twirl.
Yeah, quick
Give us
twirl.
a twirl.
We love a twirl. There you go. Woo!
Woo, woo, woo! Mamacita.
Look at that. Lori has seen a lot over the years, some embarrassing things that we've done as teenagers, our silent films. She drove up one time and Lee and I were in our homecoming dresses in the cul-de-sac, and she
Shooting hoops.
kind of
basketball.
just, laughed it off and let us do our thing. We always appreciated that. You also had the best makeup. It was wonderful.
And you took really spicy photos of us. So
Let's not forget
we
that.
really appreciate it. And we love you so much.
We just wanted to honor you quickly.
For now, we're going to get into it with my brother, one of my best friends, one of my favorite people in the whole world, one of John's millions of best men that he asked. standing up with him today. And his confidant since second grade. Everyone give it up for Jesse Loosebrock.
Thank you. Stand right here. Good. Well, so I'm in the unenviable position of following the last two speakers. So I think I'm probably going to keep it short and sweet and from the heart. As you can see, I don't have any papers with me. But I feel really lucky to be here where I am. I've known John since about second grade, I think. Lee's known Steph since middle school. So it's quite an honor for both of us to be here helping out with all of this. And I was really touched to have the opportunity to be a part of it. I'd really like to thank Lori and Bob and Nicole and Sherry for putting this all together for us. This is an amazing place to come to. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about because I knew that Alex had a long speech and he was going to talk about a lot of stuff. So we talk about the weather, which has been great. Now, one of the things I was thinking a lot about was, John, I feel, has been a part of our family since we were really young. I've always thought of myself as a part of his family. I was thinking a lot about growing up in the Brinck household and all of the great things that happened there from the time we were really young, watching SNL on the futon, waking up early and having breakfast with Bob and Eva at the kitchen table there. We had a lot of great conversations at that table. The one about the wrestlers. We had that's kind of an inside joke. We had Bob laughing to the point that he couldn't breathe anymore. He's pretty great. Playing video games up in the computer room upstairs. There's a treadmill in there, I remember, which was a little random. The basement, I feel like is really the story of our friendship, because we went from the point where it was unfinished. I remember playing with army guys down there to after it was finished, a lot later, hiding booze in the storm well, and the way I asked Betsy to prom down there, which I think made her parents hate me forever. I think, one of the best ways to show people how important they are to you, how much you love them, is to be there. And I know that, I've failed, I think, a lot at that in my life, as most people do, I think. But not John. I think John is an example that we should all aspire to live up to. He's been, really, to reiterate what Alex said, I think, the glue to this great group of friends that we have. And I think we're all really lucky to have a guy like him in our lives. And it's been great to see the parents get back together as well. That's been one of my favorite parts, I think, seeing everyone get back together. Shout out to the table in the corner over there. It's been great. Also, finally meeting Bob and Lori for the first time, which is crazy because I've known Steph for so long. And I could immediately tell that Steph is a perfect mix between the sweetness of Lori and the sarcasm of Bob. And I think that says a lot about, I think, you guys, how genuine you are and how open and lovely of people you are. And I'm just so happy to have you guys together to be here celebrating this right now. I can't wait. You guys are now building your own household. I can't wait to come stay at it, like I have the past couple times. One of your many air mattresses, which I think they actually have more air mattresses than they do square footage in their apartment, I think. So, anyway, just want to I think everyone should raise their glasses to John and Steph, and really thankful to be here. Love you guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Jess. Can't wait for you to stay on their futon or mattress either. All right, well, the next we're going to go with it, the last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the Gavin. Take it away, baby.
Thanks, everyone. I don't quite have the stage presence of an Alex Bach, so forgive me if I read from my phone here. And so I was talking with the guys at the table, and what did I do wrong to go last? Like, I'm a good person. I pay my taxes. I don't know who I angered. I had about 13 pages of tightly written material that was going to slay this audience. But, killer material. Here we are. So I'll just keep my remarks brief. And just to echo what I know everyone in this room has been saying and feeling tonight, this is really such a unique couple, and this is such a special wedding, and I'm just so happy to be here, as everyone is. And after the wonderful ceremony and these many incredible speeches, I'm just bursting at the seams with how much joy I have to be a part of this and to watch this in person. It's really special, this next phase of your lives, and to make official the love that you guys share for one another. So these types of things can go a lot of different ways. We could be sharing 1,000 stories that are funny and embarrassing stories, and I'm sure we will later tonight. I'll leave that for later. For now, I'd just like to say that, like a lot of us, I've known this man, Jonathan Brinck, for what I think is appropriate to call a very long period of time. And for me personally, it's about as long as I have waking memory, and part of that is, on me. My memory is pretty bad, but I can honestly say that in my waking memory, I've not met a more decent, a more fun-loving, and a more kind human being. And I've been thrilled to know and spend time with Stephanie and to learn that she is exactly the same hilarious, kind, smart, and caring person. And there's a whole litany of adjectives here that I'm going to skip through to describe them. But over their many years together, I've come to find that John and Stephanie both share one trait that really stands out to me, and it's especially relevant as I've been thinking about this week and this day and this life-altering occasion. It's that both of them have an amazing ability, and it's kind of been touched upon, but to bring those they care about and those that they love together. Today is obvious evidence of that, geographically, physically, emotionally. I don't know two people in my life who do that any better than these two. And as I've been reflecting on that, I've been thinking about that as what this is, which is a union of loving people. And something that inspires everyone to share that kindness, that caring, and definitely the fun that you guys exhibit on a daily basis. So, it's something I know it's going to lend itself incredibly well to your many loving, caring, happy, and fun years together. And I've been so honored to be here to witness this, to the start of what I know is going to be an incredible marriage. And John and Stephanie, I love you. We all love you, and we're so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Gavin.
Thanks, Gav. The Gavin. 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 All right, guys. Before we close this ceremony of speeches out, we would like to honor Eva Brinck, a beautiful woman, a beautiful soul who could not be here physically today, but is definitely here spiritually. Not by doing a moment of silence, but by doing a moment of applause to honor her. So if you will all join me. We all know she's looking down on you, John and Stephanie. Keep it going.
Thank you, guys. I know that was a lot of speeches. We're still up here. I don't know. We're kind of into it though. I'm not sure if we're gonna leave. So, I'll close it out. We're gonna turn it over to the DJ and get some dancing going. But we just want to say, I think you both know how grateful and happy we are for you. This has been a weekend, like many people have said, that we have been excited for since the day you two hit it off. And we always knew it would be this really big reunion and this just crazy time. And I think we've all had so much fun, and it's been pretty epic. And it's all your love that's radiating out to all of us, and we're so happy for you. So cheers. One last cheers. And let's get this party started. To our new bride and groom. To the Brincks. Woo! All right.